Okay, my name is Tina, and I was just doing a recording, and I noticed when I try to hit this little thing at the bottom, if you can see, it's for my temperatures. It closed Bandicam out, which is really weird. But this one I can open, and it had no problem. This is the temperature you really want to check is your CPU. That's what, but I'm also not going to just talk about temperatures and the gaming, but how Bandicam works. So, um, right, excuse me if I can speak. Right now, I'm going to talk about the gaming temperatures. Now, if you're a gamer, you're going to know this, but not everyone knows these things, or maybe starting off gaming, or maybe just not aware. But even if you're not gaming, you don't want your temperatures getting too high in your PC. Even idle, it could happen. But gaming's just really going to ramp it up with the graphics and the intensity of the games. So that's why gamers check their temperatures, I think, more often, because gaming can really raise temperatures in your CPU. But this is where you want to check. Okay. I'm not going to check the other one because it might throw Bandicam off again and I don't have to restart my computer because it was really acting weird. But anyway, but this is a good program down here. I mean, I have used it, Open Hardware Monitor. It just may not be compatible with Bandicam or something because I tried to open it and show and like it went down. But anyway, you want your core, I think it's either core 0 or core 1. I can't remember which one it is. Those are the ones you want to really look at. Yes, they're going to change like that. Okay, 45, 46 is not bad. I'm in the good zone. And I talked to my computer specialist to check my computer. That's good. Okay, where you don't want it up is around like, well, 80 is really pushing it. I'm not saying you couldn't game at 80, but your PC is getting pretty warm. You hit 90, you better quit if the computer hasn't shut off already. Okay, and I'm not just talking just gaming, but in general, if your computer is hitting 90, there's something up. You better get it looked at because that's just now gaming could push it up there if your computer isn't. I will say one thing: if your computer isn't able to handle certain games, it could push it past its capacity. And so if you notice that's what's happening, you won't be able to game that. You know, certain computers will let you do certain things as far as games go. So if you're just noticing in your gaming, you're going to have to get a different PC or something. Or change the graphics down. Or change the settings down. It may not look as good, but you may have to depending on what game you're playing. But I'm saying if you turn the graphics down and it just still looks horrible, you're probably not going to be able to play it on your PC. Okay, but sometimes by turning the graphics down in the settings and stuff that you can go into, that can reduce the CPU usage and it won't get so hot, okay? But regardless of whatever you're doing, like I said, I wouldn't really be comfortable at 80, but I think some maybe could. But I would say if it starts getting 85, like seriously, that's like to me, nope. An 80 would make me wonder personally, but I know maybe there's some that can game on 80. I really don't like, I think that's too hot for a PC, but everybody's different. I say if it gets 90, you better turn that sucker off, okay, because it's frying in there. I mean, well, usually some computers will automatically turn off, all right, but not, it depends what computer you have. But if you have like the newer ones, they got stuff in them, and certain laptops, they got stuff too. If you overheat, it'll start turning off, which is nice if you have that. However, it still can ruin your PC. Don't think that just because it's turning off, it saved your PC necessarily, because it keeps doing that. It's going to wear your computer out. Every time it overheats, it's doing something to your computer. It's not good. So just because it's shutting down, does it mean that it's, yes, it helps, but you're still wearing your PC out quick. So if it's overheating, take it to somebody. Like I have a person where I live down the street from me who fixes computers, and he's a specialist, and he only charges $50. You can find cheap people in your area that do really decent quality work. Okay, they don't have to be like super expensive. That can change your fans for you, look at your graphics card, and now some things will be a little expensive to put in depending on what you're getting in there, you know, and stuff. But I know how to change some things around on my computer. Anyway, and you also want to if you're gaming, you want a decent graphics card, because if you don't, it's going to be hard to play a lot of the games. Now, unless you play like really maybe really older games, but if you like playing the like some of the like a lot of the newer games, but most of them are going to take, unless they're extremely old, they're going to take like a lot of CPU and stuff. So I forgot where I was going with that, but anyway, my mind just went blank. Okay, I need to wake up. All right, so yeah, a graphics card, that's right. I have a Radeon 580 something, or RX 580, and that's not bad for gaming. Although some NVIDIA or Nevada, however you say that, and you're probably laughing at me or whatever, but that is a great graphics card. I don't have it, but I know a lot of people who do or claim that they have it on YouTube, and it's supposed to be like one of the top-notch graphics cards. But Radeon is good if it's a really good high-quality Radeon card. It depends what kind of Radeon you have. I got the 580 series. It's got fans in it. It's really good for gaming and keeps my CPU cool, but I also got 3 other fans in my PC. So when you're gaming, you want as many fans as possible in your PC. Well, I don't mean you have to fill it with fans, but I would say you want 3 or more fans probably, especially at least 3. Because when you're gaming, you want to have stuff cooled down. I'm not saying you have to have fans everywhere, but the more fans you have, the cooler it's going to keep it, okay? Of course, I don't know if you want it too cool. That may not be good either if it's like super cool. I don't know if there's such a thing as that, but I would say 3 or 4 fans. But some people put like super things in there, so I can't speak for them. And if they're happy with their rig, their setup, hey, great. For me, I have 3. I think if I could put an extra fan in there, if it was capable, I would, because... or maybe on the top or something, if I could fit one. I don't know if it would do any good, but anyway, because, you know, I think 4 would probably be the ultimate, but 3 will keep it cool. I mean, it's still going to keep it relative. I had 3 fans, and this is what my CPU is doing. Okay. And you always want to make sure when you're playing games that, you know, you check on your CPU to make sure, especially like new ones you haven't played before, make sure that you are checking your CPU, that it's not going over the temps, okay? And even when you're online, occasionally check your CPU, okay? Just because it's very good that your computer doesn't overheat. So that's just one aspect of gaming, okay? And sometimes you got to go into the game settings and turn stuff down if your computer cannot handle it. That's like a whole new video I could do, because it gets really complicated with all the game settings you have to adjust sometimes in games. Like sometimes games will have like 60 FPS or something, I know, frame rates, and sometimes you got to drop it down depending. It depends on the graphics, like, and then it depends if your computer can handle it. So there's just a lot of variables in between there when you're recording, especially if you're recording games or playing games. And recording is going to take up more CPU too. So just remember, when you're recording, that takes up even more. Okay, so you really got to be making sure that your CPU is cool. Okay, especially recording. All right, but even so, it's just very important to have those temperatures down. Okay, 40 is not bad, 50 is not bad, 60 is not bad. I would say 70 is really not bad. You start getting to 80, that would make me a bit uncomfortable. But like I said, I say 80, 85 or above, I would be like seriously concerned. That would be me. If it was 85 or above, I'd really be like, no. It's like I said, the computer doesn't turn off at that point. All right, I know I repeated that, but okay, so let's go into, so now you know about keeping your computer cool, how to check it, and you can download these programs online, and you can do that one. I'm just not opening it. I'm not opening because it'll shut my Bandicam down like last time. So as long as, you know, Bandicam isn't open, it's open hardware, but it doesn't check my CPU. Maybe for some people it does. It doesn't check mine, but this one's made to check CPU temperature. Okay, I couldn't like get my CPU read anywhere else except this program. What was that called again? Let me pop that up just to see. It's Core Temp. I'm not sure exactly where I got that. I thought there could be a name for that, but anyway. Okay, now I also have this checked right now, but you don't want this for gaming. I have it checked where there's like a highlighted mouse thing so you can see where I'm at. And I'm going to show you that. But in gaming, you don't want that because that's not going to look good in your games. If you have a mouse and it's highlighted and happens to be in the middle of the screen and you're not paying attention and you got this highlighted mouse in your video game. So no. So when I'm done with this, I'm going to uncheck it so I don't forget, because I don't want a highlighted mouse. But for presentation, that's different. Okay, now onto the very important aspect of this. I did not know this. I contacted Bandicam, and you can laugh because I spent hours and I couldn't figure it out. Well, it was a simple fix, okay? If you're in screen recording mode and you're recording a video game and you're not in game recording mode, there's a difference. See, because I showed them, I went a Bandicam, I emailed them, and I showed them what was going on. They said I was in screen recording mode, and that is why I was getting wavy lines through my video game, because I knew my graphics card was good. Okay, I knew my graphics card was updated, my computer was checked, my fans were working, I knew things were fine. I couldn't figure out where and I reinstalled Bandicam. I was like, what's going on? So I contacted Bandicam, which you can, they have an email, and they said that you don't record in screen recording mode when you're doing video games. Some people may not know that, because you're going to get some funky looking video games. Okay, so you want to go, and it should show you where it looks like a game controller pad. Okay, that's where you want to be in game recording mode if you're recording video games. Otherwise, you're going to get some funky looking video games. You must click it. You must push down on that. I can't right now because then it'll try to turn off. It won't let me. Like, you need to push with your mouse and click on that. Okay, you can't just say, okay, now I'm in game recording mode. It won't let me do it. You have to take your mouse and click on it and push it, okay, so that you're actually in game recording mode. Don't just look at it and say, oh, I'm in game recording mode. No, because actually I'm still in screen recording mode. Okay, I would have to literally stop this and go back and hit that and make sure I'm in that mode. Okay, you have to be in that mode, because otherwise, if you're not, your videos are going to look really funny and really wavy and choppy. And okay, and when I did what they said, I was like, oh my gosh, my videos are completely like looking good. All right, so just something to know, because I didn't know that. I was trying everything I could and it wasn't working. So if you're recording video games on Bandicam, make sure you're in game recording mode. Okay. Now I'm going to show you my settings. Now, I just have this for this video, all right, but normally I would have show mouse or cursor. I guess you could, but normally I have it in check because I'm doing video games, and I normally don't do presentations. So normally I have that unchecked. Okay, but I guess if you're doing presentations, it would be good probably to have it checked. Now, some people don't use a pause key. I'll tell you what I do. It's a preference, because I don't really like to have to try to edit videos unless it's PS3, and of course I have no choice there because I don't have a pause feature on my game capture device. Some capture device has that. I don't. Okay, so then I have to go in there and try to re-edit stuff, which is like a pain. So I prefer a pause key, because say if I get stuck in a puzzle, I'm trying to figure something out, or I'm doing a presentation and I forget something, or I gotta go to the bathroom, or whatever the case is, I can pause and voila, and then I can resume where I left off, and I don't have to edit anything. To me, that's how I edit videos. It's a secret I use, because if I don't want something in there, I'm just going to pause it. Like, I'll immediately pause it. Okay, and voila, it's not in there. And so that's how I edit. That's my editing of videos. You go PS3, that's a whole different ballpark, because it's just something different within itself, but on the computer. So that's why I use the pause key. And besides, if you're in a game or you're doing something and you really got to go to the bathroom, or you're hungry or thirsty and you really want to pause it, but if you don't have that, you can't pause it. And I choose F10 to pause mine. You can choose the command. You can go in here and choose and then hit your keyboard, whatever one you want to choose for your pause key. Same thing with stop record key. You can choose, you can change these. You just click in there and change them. I don't want to change it. You can click in there, hit a key, and change it. Okay, I don't have this. Now, add webcam overlay, what that's going to do is that's going to let you put your face in a video. I don't want to right now because I got to go take a shower and get some things done, so I don't want my face showing at this point. But if you wanted your face showing in a video, I'm going to show you something in settings. Now, I just have that for this video, but if you're doing video games, you want this unchecked, because you don't want a big yellow circle inside your video games or sitting somewhere. So this is only for presentation, okay? And otherwise, I would have that unchecked. Okay, normally I do. Now, for my video games, I'm using a headset with a mic attached to it. Okay, so, but don't make this mistake as I've done. One's a microphone and one's speakers. If you select speakers, which I have done, not knowing what I was doing, when you go to record, it's not going to record because you selected speakers. Oh, the things I've been learning. Microphone. Okay, just make sure whatever you choose, it has a microphone in there. Okay, whatever it is, it's microphone. Because if not, if you're choosing speakers, how are you going to record? This is for recording, okay? Now, your second device, is I have a default. I guess you could choose whatever you want, but for me, I guess it's a different, like, microphone. Maybe it looks like for a microphone device, but I use default sound device. It works for me. Now, some people claim they don't want this checked. I'll tell you what I do. Okay, but now if you want to separate your recordings, okay, and you don't want to put them all into one, I like all my recordings all into one, and I don't have to like to edit sound and stuff. That's just me. So I put it all into one recording, but there are people that are very tech savvy that like to separate their tracks. They know what they're doing. And okay, so if you're one of these that want to separate your audio tracks, and you don't want it all in one, you want your sound separate from your recording. I don't do it that way, but some do. Then you'll want to save audio tracks when recording, and you're not going to want that checked if you like to separate your voice and edit that along with your video, and you want to separate the two, then no, that should not be checked. I have it checked because I put mine all in one, and that's how I record it. So it depends on your preference. If you like to record everything in one, you don't want to have to separate sound, then I would say have this set up. If you want to separate sound, then uncheck that and check save audio tracks, okay? All right, now in webcam, if I check that, you would see me. And this is, I think you can choose your webcam for this. Your position, so if I check that, it'd be way at the top corner. Here's the left corner. They're in the middle. So you can check. Now, I think you have to check. I don't want to check webcam overlay. But I think if I check that, then it would allow me to go in there and set my preferences. See, I can't because I don't have that checked. If I check that, it's going to show me, and I don't want to be shown right now. So if you want to get into here and start working, you need to hit webcam overlay. And then it'll give you your preferences so you can get in there and start doing what you want with there, okay? Mouse, again, if you're recording video games, I would not have that highlighted, okay? That's just presentations like I'm doing. Otherwise, I would have that unchecked. And logo, I don't know. I guess you could, but I don't mess with it. I really know what this is for, but I guess. I mean, I just leave it there, but probably does something awesome. I'd have to figure that out. Okay, when I record, now some people say to take the skip recording while frame is not updated. Yes, but if you go to the Steam site and you look at Steam setup for Bandicam, this is not unchecked. But I've seen a lot of videos where they're telling you to uncheck this. Okay, well, how come when I go to the Bandicam site, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, why do they show that check marked? And I don't see where it does anything for my recordings. I just don't. If you're recording in the wrong mode, it does. Like if you're recording in screen mode, then it's going to mess things up. I don't get it. For me, it doesn't, I don't really see a difference. But, okay, but some people will say, I guess if you're having issues, you might want to uncheck that. Because maybe for you it's different. But for me, it seems to be okay. So, but again, that's something to consider if you're having issues. If you're having issues, and check it and see. If it's not making a difference, then it has nothing to do with that. Okay, so I was just in settings, right? Okay. And then you don't really ever want to use presets with Bandicam because you won't get the best quality. So as you want to go into settings, I use full size. Okay, but you can choose, it's all in here, but I just used full size for me. I guess you could choose your height and width. I mean, that's up to you, but I think full size works better. And I don't really like AVI. Some people do because they think they can split their files and change things. So I guess it's great for them, but I don't work that way. So for me, an AVI takes longer to upload. It is better quality. I'll give it that much. But if you record videos like I do, which is about an hour long, 45 minutes to an hour, and you go, and I have very fast internet connection. How do I want to put this? But I have a very fast internet connection. Well, with AVI, And I have a very good computer. But with AVI, if I have that selected and I do an hour video, we could be there quite a while. With MP4, it's still going to take some time. An hour video is still going to take time for YouTube, but it would take less longer than AVI settings. So just so you know, FPS can be 60 or 30. I choose 30. But if you want to go 60, I would say 30 or 60. And quality, the same thing. I would say 60 or more, unless your computer can't handle it. If your computer can't, well, try to go into the game and see if you can turn some settings down. Because if you can turn some settings down, you might be able to do it. But if you can't, and also check your CPU, make sure that's not getting too hot. Make sure things aren't lagging all over the place. Because if you're real laggy, that's I can't even play. I don't even know how anybody could play like that anyway. I've played games, not on this computer, but I played games that were like super laggy. And oh my gosh, I couldn't play it. It was so bad. It was so hideous. I couldn't take the lag. I mean, not on this computer, but on other PCs. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like totally bad. It was, but just say if it's got just a little bit of lag, not enough to really, but there's some lag that's still not good because it means it's doing something to your CPU. You got any lag, you want that out of there. And it's not going to look good because people aren't going to want to watch laggy videos. I'm just saying, they're not going to even want to watch it. I personally wouldn't. I would turn it off if any kind of like, well, maybe a very slight lag. I know that can happen sometimes, but I'm talking where it just seems laggy all over the place. It seems like it's chopping up quite a few places, laggy, choppy, and it keeps happening to the video. I know a little bit might be in some videos because it sometimes happens, but I'm talking where most of the videos that way, I'm sorry, I can't watch that. Okay, I don't think most people would, so... And it's not good for your PC if it's lagging that much. So either you have to turn game settings down, recording. I would work with the game first before you start recording even. I'd work with the game settings, make sure that it's working fine, it looks good, check your CPU temperatures. Okay, if everything's fine, then start going into the recording mode. Because if you can't even get past that mode, you're certainly not going to go to the recording because recording is going to take more for your CPU. Okay, so you can check if you want the quality all the way to 100, go for it if your computer can do it, but I just choose 60. And it's going to take a lot longer to upload. So the higher quality, although it's great and it'll look really, really fantastic, is also going to take a lot longer. This one I choose, I guess, yeah, I choose my AMD card because I think it's better than my CPU. At least I thought it was. I could be wrong, but I thought my AMD card was better than my CPU card. I'm not positive of that, but I would hope so. I'm not positive on that, but that's what I thought, so that's why I'm using that. But if you know that your CPU is better, then you would use your CPU. Okay, so I don't really use MPEG 4, but I guess your preference. I would use either the CPU one or see, that's my graphics card in there. So yours could say something like if you have NVIDIA or Nevada, however you say it, then use that one because of course that's the way better card. But this is where your graphics card is at your CPU, so I'm checking to go with that. And yes, my videos take a little bit longer to download when I check that, but then the quality is better. So, and I use the highest bit rate. Again, it's going to depend on your video game, your settings, and everything. Stereo and this. So those are my preferences there. Okay, so video. Let's go to, we went to image. Okay, that's what I do there. Let me see with video, make sure I have all the, I just make sure I covered everything because I got to look at all this. We went into here, general, advanced. Okay, here we go. I didn't cover this yet. This is what I have. It's just show FPS and captured video image. You could have that checked. I don't know if it shows a timestamp. I'm not sure exactly what that does, but I don't. And someone said to turn off tray balloon notifications, so I just have that turned off. I guess that's up to you. This might be a general purpose thing. You can check it out, but these are my settings anyway. Output, I didn't mess with that. I just left it. And it seems to work for me. I didn't check anything in there. Hooking, now I don't know with Windows. Now, here's something you could teach me, because I don't know if that Windows apps should be checked. That I don't know. It's just the way it is, and so I left it. But if that's going to make a performance issue on my PC, you feel free to teach me too, okay? Because I don't know everything. Language and then others. So video recordings, we've already been here. Video formats, we were there. So that I guess it's just going to show. And in here, I just left that completely alone. Okay, so just remember, because so this is for video games, and also if you have Bandicam, just some things to be aware of. When you go into video game settings, I was going to go into Steam. I don't care if you see my go into my Steam, because I already put the password in, so it's not like you're going to have the password to it. I mean, you'd have the name, but not the password. I'm going to go in there and show you where you can go into settings. Well, some games let you have that. Okay, so, and some games I took out, and some games I have. All right, so here with this, let's go to Trails of Cold Steel. If you right click, you'll see Launch Configuration Tool. Not all games have it, but some do. All right, sometimes it's in the video game itself, that's where it is. Sometimes it's not always there. Okay, sometimes you got to go into the video game and find it. Sometimes you can launch it. So see where I have this 60 FPS, but if your computer may not be able to handle that. Depends on your graphics card, your system, what you got going on. And really, I think it's the graphics card and what kind of processor you have. Because seriously, if your processor stinks, I'm not saying it does, but if the processor stinks, the graphic card is not good, you're going to have to really lower this. Like, I mean, if you want to play decent games, I'm going to suggest a gaming computer, seriously, because you want it to look the best when you put it out for people. I know gaming computers are a bit expensive, but they can be $800 to $1,000, beyond $1,000. The more you spend, the better. Mine is okay because, I mean, I only spent $800, but really it should have probably been over $1,000, because a really good one is going to be probably $1,000 or more, okay? I'm sorry to say that, but you want a really fantastic computer for games? Well, just saying. Just like your game system consoles. I mean, you always want the, the best when you're running up, because, well, not all of them are. Some people play from older stuff and record onto YouTube, but anyway, so back to what I'm saying. So I have this on 60 FPS, but you can drop it down to 30 or unlimited, okay? Full screen, you may not always want that depending on what you can handle. Resolution, again, that's your screen size or the resolution of the game. Sometimes you got to turn that down. Even you might have to go under your screen if, what I'm talking about, you might have to turn that down if the game is getting too hot or is too laggy, or you notice something. I don't really know what that's for. It says improves the detail. Like, I like how they says it improves the detail, visible textures of angles. Has a GPU performance cost, so you're going to know that. I don't really turn that on. I guess I could, but shadow resolution, that's up to you. But see, it tells you what these do. In fact, this is actually good because it tells you what this does. It determines the detail, stability, and the quality of rendering shadows. Lower settings are recommended for integrated laptop GPUs. Alter and higher are recommended for desktop gaming GPUs. You see that? So your GPU makes a difference, man, and so does your graphics card and your GPU. I don't know if that is your... Never mind. Observed only makes sense if you're playing at resolution higher than 1080p. Okay, well, I'm not playing higher than... I didn't know you could go higher than 1080p. Really? Okay, well, maybe you can. I didn't know that. It's news to me. But see, but it tells you what all these are for, man. Unlimited draw distance, what high quality depth. This may be good, just if you don't know what certain things are. So that's what I'm saying, to kind of look over these, you'll get an idea. This game is pretty good for showing what these things mean. And that's actually really good, especially if you don't know what they mean or what they do. That's kind of cool that they have that there. Okay, and of course I have autosave every 5 minutes, but you can check. Now, not all games have this kind of a detailed configuration or even explain all this stuff. That's why I like that, because that really explains, like, seriously, that's pretty cool. I don't know if this is going to record in 1080p or not, but then you can just, I'm just going to save and quit because I don't want to launch right now. Like, say if you go into fancy, now I don't know if this has it either. Let me see. If not, I know it's in the game. Play game, view. See, it doesn't have it in that one. But if you go into the game, it does. If you go inside the game, it will have it. Well, this one has launch. Let me just see. See, there's no launch in there, so you have to go inside the game. See, that one has a launch setup. So if it has launch setup, go into there. Like, I'll just use this for example. And you can, you check what you want, okay? And I don't even know if that's really checked completely right. I'm going to have to look at that because I really don't know. That's a really weird game. What I mean is with the graphics and stuff, I don't know, but that's what I'm saying. You go into that. Oops. I did not want that. Excuse me. Hey, you weren't supposed to launch up, man. Don't do this to me, man. How do I get out of here? Well, this is just great because I want to get out of this, and I'm thinking, okay, escape. Me and my computer knowledge, I don't even know how to get out. Oh, wait, here, let me go. I see here. Close window. Yeah, well, you could close it. I said close. Great. This is just great, man. I can't even get out of here and I'm doing a recording. This is not supposed to... I'm not used to Tomb Raider Chronicles getting out of there, man. So is there anything on my controller? I know this is funny. What did it lock up? Control-Alt-Delete. You know what? Go to here. It could have locked up. You know, just go into here if it locks up and go to end task. Okay, thank you, you know, because seriously, that was like... I don't want Steam Bootstrapper. Get out of there, man. I hate when that pops up. Okay, well, if you ever get in a bind, Control-Alt-Delete works. Okay. Usually, unless it's totally froze up. And in that case, then that's not good. That was kind of funny. Okay, sorry for that distraction. So, and I couldn't pause that particular one. Well, actually, maybe I could have in the F12. I don't know. But anyway, I wasn't thinking about it at the time. So if you get into a bind like that, if you notice, now most people know that, but just in case you don't, but most do, Control-Alt-Delete, and unless it's totally frozen, in that case you've got an issue, then you're going to have to shut everything down and redo it, because if it's frozen, you're not going anywhere. But as long as it didn't lock up, you can go in there and shut your programs down. See, I'm glad it didn't freeze up, because it could have done that. But usually it'll get you out unless something totally froze up, and in that case it's not good. But anyway, I'm going to end with this video. So that's what I get to go in Steam, close Windows. But I think I can get right into my Steam account again. Let me see something. Updating Steam. If it wants me to log in, forget it, because... Oh, see, now here's where you use the pause feature. Watch this. Because you won't see, and then I'll be able to get into my Steam account. So I'm going to hit pause. Well, anyway, I was trying to go back into it, but it won't let me open it, which is odd. But anyway, it could just be because Bandicam's open. It's possible. I don't know why. Sometimes my computer does that. I have no idea why it starts to do that. But anyway, there's nothing wrong with it because they just checked it. Unless it's a virus or something. God, I hope not. But anyway, it won't let me open it, so I don't know why. And so I'm going to just end. I'm going to try one more time, but I don't think it's going to... I'm going to pause it one more time. But if it doesn't, you won't know because the pause feature is so minute in here, you just don't even know it. But I'll try it one more time. I think I might have to turn Bandicam off to do it. I don't know why that is. It should just do... It should just open it, man. I can't find it on my top. See, because this is Bandicam, Cyberlink. See, it's not even showing up here, and I just tried to open it, man. Like, see, you can see I'm trying to open, and it's like not opening. I hope I don't have to turn my PC off again, but I might. I don't know. So sometimes my computer just goes weird. I have no idea. I'm gonna have to do a virus scan check run on it again. I have a virus protection thing that should scan and make sure that I have no viruses in my PC. So anyway, I'm going to do that just to make sure, because it was acting weird too today, so something might have got in it. It's possible. And if that's the case, another thing, if you notice, like what I'm noticing, because when you play video games, you don't want viruses in your computer. So if you're noticing something a bit funky, you need to correct that, because if you don't, it's going to get in your computer. It's going to slow it down. You don't want a slowed down computer when you're recording games. And then I'm going to end with this. So I'm not going to show you this, but when I'm done, I'm going to open virus scan and let it do some virus checking. And let it go through there and see if there's any malware in there, because sometimes it'll stop your programs from opening, and it'll also slow your programs down, and it can monitor where you're going and everything else. So you got any viruses, you need them out. Just saying. And if you can't, one other thing before I leave off this video, That's why it's important to have everything saved on a drive, like a flash drive, any kind of a drive, because if you have to restart, take everything off your computer and start it clean, you're going to want all those programs, because just trust me, you're going to want everything saved and backed up. It's the smart thing to do in case you get an icky virus you cannot get out for some reason. It's just so bad you can't get it out of there. Like even the professionals couldn't get it out. Then sometimes, and I've had not with this PC, but other ones, I've had to have them they had to wipe everything clean on certain PCs I had, and make sure you always have virus protection. You must have virus protection always. And always check, because like I said, with the video games, you can't have weird stuff popping up in there. You know, when you're playing games, you don't want weird stuff popping up into your games and recording that, or slowing things down, or your CPU down. So that's why I'm saying, when you're a gamer, your PC has got to be clean. I'm seriously, if you want the best performance, clean. You can't have stuff popping up, you know, or virusing, slowing things down and chopping up your videos. I mean, it takes enough to already record and play the game, let alone an icky virus in your computer. So I'm just saying, if you're gaming, and even if you're not gaming, you still don't want a virus in your PC. You just don't. Because it can really do some havoc to your PC. You may not think it's doing it, but it is. So you can get that sucker out. Find somebody who can. Call a computer specialist. Find somebody who can get it out of there. Or try to remove it yourself, or get a virus remover program. You can't just keep that in there. And if it's so bad it just won't come out, then you're going to have to wipe everything clean and start your computer fresh. And I mean, so when everything starts up, see, like all these icons, if you started everything fresh and I started up, all these icons would be gone. It would be like I had a brand new PC. And that's what it means to start completely fresh. And if you don't have all that backed up, then you have to re-download. I've been there before. Many times. That's how I know you need a backup. Because then I had to redo everything all over again, man. All my games, everything. I was like, oh my gosh. Remember, flash drives, any kind of drive, back it up onto some drive, please, okay? I mean, if you got a lot of stuff, get a big drive. It's worth it, okay? And flash drives, you got to be careful, because you can lose stuff on flash drives too. I would get a really good drive, actually, to back it up, because on flash drives, I've had drives where they wouldn't want to work or open. Be careful on flash drives too, because sometimes you can run into problems with that. But make sure it's backed up onto something very, very good. And I don't know if I'd recommend flash drives, actually, because I've had times where they just wouldn't work or wouldn't open, and there goes your stuff, and then you can't transport stuff over, or it's like something wrong with the drive. I actually bought a whole disk drive one time, a big, huge one, for $80. And then when I went to plug it into another computer, it's like I didn't even recognize it, and I lost all my files. So I would just be careful on what you're backing it up to. In fact, I'm going to have to find something that's better than my flash drives. I don't know what to recommend at this point. I need to find something better than flash drives. If you can recommend something, fine. Because I think that flash drives are iffy, and you could lose stuff on them. So I don't know exactly where to back it up completely safe, but I need to find out how to back it up so I know it's always there if I need it. But if you want to do flash drives, fine. Just know if something happens, well, you can't get to it, then you're out. Then you're going to have to re-download everything again. So with that being said, and I'll never reformat a flash drive with stuff on it if you don't want to lose it, because it'll tell you you're going to lose it. And if you don't pay heed to that and do it anyway, you will lose everything off your flash drive. You can go into a flash drive, I kid you not, and completely reformat it. And it'll tell you you're going to lose everything. If you don't take heed to that, you will lose everything on there. But see, I knew at the time I was going to lose stuff on there. I already knew that. So I was like, okay, I know what it was doing, and so I let it. Okay, one other tip before I leave off your computer, and then I'm going to go. Also, too, when you go to add and remove programs, I'm going to show you some. But if you don't know what something is, ask an expert or figure it out, because I'll tell you something. I have ruined PCs, not this one, but I have ruined PCs that way because I didn't know. I thought you could take anything out of add and remove programs. I'm going to show you where that is real quick, and then I'm going to go. So you're going to type it into here and go add. Okay, you're going to click here. I'm not going to show you all my programs, but I'm just going to show you, if you don't know what something is and you go to uninstall it and your computer needs it, you may not getting back on. In fact, I think I wiped one of my drives out one time, not knowing, not this one, not on this PC, but I wiped out a drive one time not knowing. My gosh, I think I wiped out one of my drives that read something. Look, if you do not know what that is, you call a professional, you find somebody who knows and ask them, do you remove it? If you do not know to remove it. Now, if it's a program you recognize, it's something you downloaded and you recognized it and you know what it is. Like, say you downloaded Bandicam. You know what that is. And it's going to show that in here. And you know because you use it. And if you know what it is and you don't want it and you know what the program is, then you can delete it. See, I don't know what 3D Builder is, and I'm not going to delete that because I may need that. I don't know if I do or not. You know, all these, I don't know, but if I don't know what it is, I want my Amazon Kindle, but say I want my Bandicam. I know what that is. But just say if I didn't want it, since I know what it is, I could delete it because I know. I don't know what some of these are. See, that's what I'm saying, like the 7-zip, I don't know. And if you go to take, now, I may or may not, I don't know, but if you go to take something out and you need it, it's going to stay in there, but just because I'm not sure. You don't know, don't go messing in your add and remove programs because you could really, and I mean really, mess up your PC. Just something I learned from other PCs I've had. Okay, so just some words of knowledge in there that I have learned over the years. I have more knowledge, actually. I've trained myself on how to get on the computer, get around on the computer, know stuff about the computer. I can put fans in my computer. I'm sure I could put a graphics card in there. It didn't look that hard from watching YouTube. That's why I like watching YouTube. Because this, you know, but I know I can do certain things with my computer. All you have to do is watch YouTube and find, well, be careful because you don't want to put the wrong thing in either. And if you're really uncomfortable, I would suggest having a professional do it then, because you don't want to ruin anything. I'll tell you what I did once, and then I'm going to end this video. See, this is what you don't want to do. I was in a computer I had one time, and not this one. And I was trying to put a graphics card in, and it was kind of an older computer. Not old, but not like the newer ones I have today, where it's a lot easier, okay? These had like the chip cards. They were real long. I think part of the chip flew in my eye because I was trying to cram it in there because I didn't know what I was doing. Never put something in a computer like that, because if it's not going to go and you keep jamming it in there, you can snap off the memory card. All kinds of things can happen. If you're really uncomfortable, stay out of there. Okay, that's what I would say. But if you think that you can do it, just make sure you're not going to mess anything up. Always make sure your computer's turned off. Always, but you should know that anyway. I mean, come on, you don't want to electrical zap. But make sure your computer is always turned off, unplugged and turned off. Now, if you are going to keep it on, because I had someone that I was with my computer. They said, well, as long as you don't go in there, because they wanted me to check the motherboard so I could see where to put my fans. And he said, well, just don't stick your fingers in there. Of course, I wouldn't do that. Duh. I mean, if you're just going to look in there and you need to look at something, you don't put your fingers in there, then I guess you could leave it on, but don't put anything in there, man. Okay, because if you stick anything in that PC and that sucker's on, you're going to have an issue, and you could get electrocuted. Okay, so if you're going in there to work or doing something, not just to look, but if you're going in there to get, to touch something, make sure you ground yourself first. Like touch something metal, ground yourself, touch something. Like something metal, anything, ground yourself. Okay, make sure everything is turned off. All right. And you don't want to be like trying to touch all the chips and stuff, man. Don't put your fingers on them, and just touch what you need to touch. I'm not saying, I don't know if that hurt anything or not. I don't know. But touch what you need to touch. You got to get the fans, touch those, take those out. If you got to touch the wires to get it out, that's fine. Okay, but I wouldn't be like touching the chip graphic things, because I don't know. I just wouldn't mess with that. I know some people are skilled and they can do that, but for me, I don't know what I'm doing. So, of course, I'm not going to solder and put stuff together like that, okay? So keep your hands off that if you don't know what you're doing. If you know what you're doing, that's fine. So if you know where to put your fans, you understand, great, and it's a learning experience, but just treat it as your computer as something very expensive, even whether it was or not. And are you going to ruin that? Be very careful. Treat it as if you spent a ton of money on it. Are you going to want to lose that? Even if you didn't, I mean, just treat it like you spent thousands of dollars, okay? In that case, you're not going to want to chance things. So be careful what you're deleting out of there and how you're fixing things. And if you go in there and like you really seriously think you're going to mess things up, again, find someone in your area. I live in a small town and I have someone who can fix my PC for 50. And I live in if I can find someone in my small town, you can find someone. Seriously, or have someone come or call or have them come over, or a friend or anybody who knows exactly what they're doing. So that would be my take on the PC. That way, if you got to get inside, you don't know what you're doing, you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars. There's people out there, I kid you not, there are people out there that will that know what they're doing, that won't mess up your PC and will have it running top notch. Okay. And but if you're comfortable getting in there, if you do know what you're doing, then go fix it. Okay. That's what I'm going to say for that. So then you're going to have everything up and running. If any fans start going on your PC, you're going to want to check this, which is your CPU. You're going to want to check your temperatures. Because if a fan goes down, sometimes it's like if one fan goes, it may not make that big of a difference. It may or may not, depending on your setup rig. So if a fan goes, I would always say replace it as soon as possible. Let's just say you can't replace it for a couple weeks, okay? Well, when you're gaming, check your CPU, because that depends what fan. Like mine, I need the front two fans. If one goes, I'm not too bad. But if both fans go in the front, no. Like I could play a game because I check my CPU. If one fan goes in the front, but the other fan's running, okay, that's fine. But if both fans in the front go, nope, because it's going to get way too hot. Okay, so you need to know what your PC can and cannot handle as far as fans. And then I noticed one time I had two fans in the front working, but one in the back wasn't working. And I checked my CPU. It was a little bit on the warm side, but not bad. Okay, and I was still able to game. It was fine, but it wasn't as cool as I would like it to have been. Okay, but if it had been like getting 80 or 90, then no, I wouldn't have been able to. So just because one fan goes doesn't mean that you couldn't play. It depends what fan and how many fans. And then that's where, when that happens, you want to get a fan in there as soon as possible. But say you can get one in there for a couple of weeks. Or a week or whatever. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Okay, and you're waiting. And if you can't, well, then just get online and do what you're normally going to do and use your PlayStation 3 or something, play video games. See, that's why I got a gaming console, too, because if something goes with my computer and I like gaming, then I have a gaming console to play on. See, that was my backup, because I thought if my computer goes or something happens, which it can, you never know, then I have my PS3 to back me up. Although it won't get my recording at this point. Well, it would if I was directly into the mic, but that's a whole different issue. But I would say for serious gamers, and I'm going to go too, and then I'm going to leave with this. I know I keep saying that. But for serious gamers, you want a console, PS3, PS4, something, PS2, anything. Because if your computer goes and it has to go in the shop or something and you can't get to games and you like gaming, you know, like, and the handheld games are great too, or ones for your phone, you know, because I like the ones I can get from my iPad. So if you're a serious gamer and you're addicted like me, but you really like gaming, you're going to want to have something more than your computer. Because if that goes, what else are you going to plan? You know, so make sure you got some rigs set up, like a gaming pad to play on, or a PS3, PS4, a couple gaming rigs, and then you're good to go, right? And then while your PC's being fixed, well, you have your games to play. And see, I like PS3 because you can get on the, well, I don't know how to say this, but you can access the internet. You can get onto the internet, access it in there, although it's a bit on the slow side. And I have a fast connection, but it's still a bit on the slow side. But I can get into my PS3 and still get on. If I really needed to check my email or something, I could get, and I have other computers too, which also helps if you have other computers. Like a couple of them, but just in case you can't afford it, you know, not everybody's made, I get with money, but I have another laptop computer. I won't play gaming on there, but I have it. Well, you can, but I can't play many games because it's not made for games, and that sucker overheats fast, like fast. Okay, so I can't. I'm gonna say this. I can't do a lot of gaming on that one. It's not made for gaming, and even just surfing, it's painfully slow, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. So yeah, I don't game on that one. But if I had to check like email or check a site or whatever, I could do so and it would be fine. All right. And I also have tablets and stuff. So, and then I have my PS3 and PS2. So always make sure that you're hooked up in case you have to send your computer in, that you have a way to access the internet either by PS3 or PS4. I think any PS3 or 4. I don't know about all PS3s. I don't know. I know mine does. Mine's a slim. And I would think PS4 would have the internet. I'm not positive on that. But it should, because PS3 does. If PS4 don't have the internet, then that would shock me. Of course, I never looked into that. But find a gaming system that has the internet, or use a tablet. Or you can get on your phone. I don't like my phone because it's not that huge. And it's hard for me to type on that sucker. So really, preferably, I like to play my phone for games. It's really good for playing games and stuff and watching movies, and it's got a really good Wi-Fi in it. I guess I could just check my email. I really wouldn't want to reply too much. I can't reply with that screen. It's too small. But anyway, make sure you have some way you can access the internet, so while your computer and you're gaming, that way if they have to take your computer, and just to say if it was that bad and they had to take your computer for a few days, or a week, or whatever, or 2 weeks, you're completely set up. You have the internet, and you also have your gaming systems. See, be prepared, and make sure everything is backed up in case they have to wipe your drive clean. That when you come home, if you're starting off with the new computer, because they said, hey man, the virus is so bad, we had to wipe you completely clean. Hope you have everything backed up, because if you don't, you're gonna have to reinstall everything again, because that's the only way they can get it off. Then you can rest assured, yep, everything's backed up. See, it comes with the knowledge. I've been on PCs for quite some time, so I'm sharing my knowledge with you, man. Knowledge that took a long time for me to understand and learn certain things. Now, the next video I do, I'm going to talk about the PS3. Of course, I don't have as much knowledge on that as I do the PC, but I have some, but not like I do the PC. But there's certain things that you have to do for recording for PS3, but it's a whole different topic. So that being said, I'm going to end with this video. I know it's about an hour, but this is going to probably be titled, about PC issues and Bandicam and recording issues and just general computer questions that people may have. I don't know everything. I can't answer everything. I can answer some questions. I do know some things about computers, so if I can answer it for you, fine. If I can't, I'll let you know, because you might have to go to an expert. I even have to go to experts, okay? But there are some things I do know. Just don't ask me how to run Paint or one of those programs, because those I don't. Well, I mean, I can get it up and running, but I don't really know what I'm doing once I get in there too much, so to speak. So you want that kind of help, you have to go to someone who specializes. And I have opened up Microsoft stuff, or for like typing. But again, I'm not an expert at that. I can open it, I can type it, and blah, blah, blah. But I'm not an expert of where you align stuff, how you align things, what you do with this and that. I don't know, like, inside the programs themselves, but I can open it and get it working, yeah. If you want to know, like, how to actually operate certain systems like that, then that wouldn't be my expertise. Sorry. I could tell you how to download it and get it open, but then how you open the program, or, for me, it's always trial and error, figuring things out, like opening it and playing with it and then figuring out how it works. And it can take hours sometimes days. But that's a whole different topic. So if you have any questions I can answer, I will. And if not, I would just tell you to go to a professional or ask somebody who knows, because, again, I'm not going to claim to know everything. And even professionals, sometimes I don't think they always know exactly everything either. And excuse me, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cough in your ear. Hold on. Sorry, I'm trying to hold the mic so I wasn't all up in your excuse me. I think I better go now, because I've been having problems with my voice lately, and this is going to get really funny. At a point I won't even be able to talk. It happens to me. I think my acid reflux kicking, but that's a whole different video. So again, I hate when I do that, and it's like I blow into the mic and stuff. That's not what I was trying to do. That makes a hideous sound. This mic seriously needs a upgrade, because I hate that popping sound. I know you get what you pay for. It's kind of cheap. It's only like 20 20 some dollars, so it's not the best headset mic. And I think you get what you pay for. So if I paid for better quality, it probably wouldn't be popping so much and picking up all the sounds. And I got the mic away from me so it's not completely up by my mouth, because I think that's important. If it's complete, it's something I noticed. If you have your mic, if you have your headset and your headset piece too close to your mouth, it's really going to pick up a lot of popping sounds. You should still be able to hear yourself without the mic being pretty much in your mouth or close. You know what I'm saying? You need, I'm going to adjust the mic so it's further away. And hopefully you can still hear me, because I just don't want it picking up a bunch of popping sounds or breathing sounds. So make sure that that mic is adjusted far enough away, even though they're still going to pick up some popping sounds. And also you can lower the sound. See, like here, I can lower my this is my headset mic, or headset with the mic in it. I can lower the sounds if I want to. So again, it's just like playing trial and error with stuff. But I'm gonna leave. So thank you so much for listening. I gotta go get something to eat. I'm gonna upload this to YouTube. I'm still trying to figure out what to call it. But hopefully this has helped people. And the Bandicam issue, the heating issues. Again, you can just look up for CPU temperatures or how to check CPU temperatures, and something should come up that you can download that will check your CPU temperatures. Okay, so you just look that up. And you can also use open hardware, but like I said, I'm not going to open that right now because then it'll shut this down. And my gosh, I'm not having that happen since I've just recorded that. But with Bandicam closed, it will open it. And then I got to see if I can open Steam after I'm done. Otherwise, I'm going to have to restart everything again. I don't know why it's acting that way. But anyway, but this one I think I just looked online how to check CPU temperature. It might be core temp. You can look under that. That's possible. I'm not going to go online right now, but you need something that will check your CPU, okay? And your temperatures. And make sure you're always checking those, because just make sure that you can... At least if you're gaming, you'll want to be right up on it. But if you're not gaming, I would check it like at least once a day or a couple times, just to make sure something's not overheating somewhere. I just like to make sure of that. But I'm gonna go. So we covered how to check your CPU temperatures, the gaming quality, how to configure games. Although I didn't go completely into detail, but enough you could see what I was doing. How to work your Bandicam, and how you're having certain computer problems. So I feel this is a very informative video. I don't expect to get paid anything for it. I'm just trying to help people. So, and like I said, I will help if I can. So if you have any questions, just let me know. All right, and I'm going to upload this to YouTube. This is going to be fun because it's going to take a while, because it's about an hour of me just talking and showing stuff. So this will probably take an hour, hour and a half to upload. And this is on a very fast internet connection. I mean, it's fast. Now, I don't have the fastest, no, because if I had the fastest, I'm sure it wouldn't take that long. But what I'm saying is it's fast. It's not the fastest connection, but it's fast. Good thing God is not slow, or we'd really be there a while. And also, too, if you're gaming, one other thing I remembered. One thing I did remember before I go, because it's important. You want a decent internet connection speed. I'll tell you why. Well, because first of all, even if you're not recording, the faster you go, your games are going to play better. Okay, the slower you are, your games could be, even if your computer is really good with graphics and stuff, I get that. But the faster you run, the better performance of your games are going to be. Even if you do have a really great graphics card, you still want to be running pretty fast. Okay, but especially if you record like I do, you really are going to have to require that. Because if you want to put it to YouTube and say you got an hour video and you don't have like really fast internet, oh man, you could be there at least a day. I think, I don't know, you're going to be there quite a while. Well, I don't know about a day, but you're going to be there a while. So I would say for gaming, if you're a gamer and you're like, you want your stuff to look really good and run very smoothly, I'm not saying you have to get the super highest, but get the highest you can afford. Let me put it to you that way. I mean, if you can afford the top of the line speed, go for it. But if you can't, just do what you can afford, but go as high as you can speed-wise, because you're going to see a big difference in the performance of your PC. Okay? So just make sure on that if you're gaming, whether you're recording or not. And even if you're surfing the net, you're going to notice a difference, because it's going to be like lightning speed fast, where if you have the slower quality, it's not going to be, you're going to be there a little bit. Okay, just saying. So since I have really fast internet, not as fast as some people have, but it doesn't take forever to do something. In fact, here's the difference, and then I'm really going to shut my mouth. When I was recording, when I had a slower connection, and say I was trying to upload to YouTube and then surf the internet, I couldn't even do that because the connection was so slow. It wouldn't even, I don't know what this PC, that one I don't know if I had this PC when I was doing that. I don't think I did, but anyway, it was so slow that I couldn't do anything until it uploaded to YouTube. Okay, now I have super fast internet. And so now if I'm uploading to YouTube, I can also surf the internet, and I can still surf as it's still uploading to YouTube. Or if you have the slower connections and you're uploading something, or even if you're downloading something, uploading, and you want to go to do something, it's going to take a while for that page to even pop up and load because you got the slower connection. With a faster connection, man, blam, you're right there. You don't have to wait, man. So I would suggest the highest connection you could afford, get it. Seriously, if you're into computers, surfing, whatever, now, I guess I would say if you don't do much, but maybe check your email and you're barely on, then yeah, you might be able to get away with that. Seriously, because if you're hardly ever on a computer and you're not really doing anything, or you're just checking email or typing, or you're not really doing much, then I would say that no. I would say that you could probably go slower and it wouldn't affect you, really. Okay. But if you're doing anything else like downloading, gaming, you really like to browse, you like to be on quite often, please get a faster connection if you can. Okay. And that would be my advice. Now I'm going to leave. So I just wanted to put that in there as far as the PC goes. And also make sure that you have a decent graphics card, especially if you're playing video games. Okay, because if you got a stinky graphics card and you're playing video games, you're going to know it. If you got one with no fans and it's not going to keep it cool. Well, I mean, you'll have the fans in your computer, but it's not going to keep it cool like it should. And if you got a stinky graphics card, it's really going to be hard to get like decent games playing on there. So I would recommend Radeon 580 on up, or some NVIDIA or Nvidia cards, whatever you call them. I know they can run $200-$300, but man, you get what you pay for. You really do. Even $300 graphic card, you get what you pay for. You get that sucker in your computer, and let me tell you, your gaming will be like, whoa. Okay. People know who have great graphics cards know what graphic cards know what I'm talking about. They know exactly what I mean. I know because I used to have stinky graphic cards. And the game was chopping all over the place. It would barely play, or if it did, it just didn't look great. It was taking up a lot of CPU. My other computers were overheating. No, if you're a serious gamer, man, and you play on the PC, then let me guarantee you, you need a good graphics card. Don't be cheap. Spend at least $200 to $300. $300 would be mine, but spend... If you can spend $300 or more, I would, if you can do that. If you can only do $200, well, that's better than some of the graphics cards. But again, Radeon 580 on up, or NVIDIA, and I don't know, but you're going to need a really great graphics card. Don't go with the super cheap one, because I'm going to tell you, if you do, it's not going to be good. Especially if you're just using your computer just to log around or look around, you're not playing video games, then no, you're not going to need the top of the end or the really good graphics card, because just a decent one will do if you're just surfing. I'm talking for gamers. You know what I'm talking about. Then you're going to need a good graphics card, a really good one, and not a cheap one, by the way. See, that's why I can't play certain ones on my laptop, because it's not a gaming PC and it will not handle it, and it will overheat quickly and shut off. Just trust me, you kind of know too. You'll kind of know because you're computer could shut off. It will get real laggy. It'll get real hot. You'll actually probably know before you would even check your CPU. You'll start to know. So if it's real laggy, it's real hot, it's not working properly, then it's probably not meant for your system. Either turn the graphics down, like I said, and again, if that's not working, you may not be able to play it. So just check those specs out, okay? Because I don't want people's computers all ruined up. Okay, make sure your computer is completely virus-free. Another thing, I know I said that, but just make sure of all these things. So hopefully I covered everything. I don't want to keep repeating myself. I know I do that sometimes. But hopefully I covered as much as I possibly could. And like I said, and I know there's like people that like download programs and stuff like that, but I figure most know how to do that. If you don't, that's a whole different video, but most people know how to download. If you don't, then I'm sorry. I'm just saying most do. So, but if you don't, I guess I could do a video on that if you wanted me to show you, but most people today are pretty computer savvy tech. It's even in schools. I think kids are learning how to do that at a very young age now. So I'm not even going to put that up, but if you really want me to, I would. I mean, I would, but I think almost a lot of people know how to download stuff, or should. I can't say everyone, but if you need that tutorial, I can show you, but that's a different video. But for me, it's just second nature. I've done it so long that it's really easy to do. So, again, in your email, if you need me to show you anything there or put up anything, most people know, but not everybody does. Not everybody has a computer, or maybe they're just getting one. Okay, so stuff like that is what I'm saying, like how to email, how to set up an email, everything that I've been covering here. You know, certain things I would be able to help you with. Some things I won't, so you're going to find that out, but I'm going to shut my jaws now. Okay, so thank you so much for listening. Hopefully this will help you in your endeavors. And your recording and your gaming and your surfing experience and your now what I usually use too for cleaner, well, you can't see it, but my I forget what it was called now. I think it's Windows Defender or something. But when I talked to my because I was using Adaware, and the guy who fixed my computer, who does computers, said that you need to get rid of Adaware, and there's Windows Defender. It's completely free. And it will protect your PC, and it's completely free. And you go into your settings. I'll have to do a different video on that to show you, because it is a little complicated if you don't know what you're doing. But it's not too hard. But you got to go into Windows Defender and then check in there and then check some settings, and then you're up and going. But that's a whole different video, which will be very short if I show you. But it's completely free, and it will keep. Now I have Adaware Cleaner, which will get some stuff out, but again, I didn't pay for that, but it will get some things out. And then your Windows Defender, that's completely free, and it will probably get more out than Adaware will. And it's completely free to use, and I did not know that. So see, that was kind of good to know from a person who works with PC standpoint. Always make sure, I don't care what you have, just have a, well, unless it's that one, I forget what's called, Norton, because Norton really has a virus in it. You don't want to have Norton on your PC. Not at least what I was told from many people, that Norton has a virus in it. And it's supposed to be anti-spyware, but really it's not. It has a virus in it, from what I've been told. And so I don't use Norton. I stay away from that. Just be careful, too, with your antivirus programs, that you're doing ones that are legit, that aren't going to give you viruses, because some of them will. So you want to make sure that whatever you're downloading, a virus program is not going to give you a virus. So check that out, man. Okay, but I'll do different videos at a different time. So thank you so much for listening, and hopefully this helps you in your endeavors. Now I'm going to go try to open my Steam. And if I can, I'll have to shut my PC off. I don't know why that sucker's not opening. It's done that before. I had to actually shut my computer off. I don't know. Usually it don't, but there's been occasional times it has. But thank you so much for listening, and hopefully this helps, okay? Have any questions or comments, leave them below or message me. Thank you. Bye.